Hello guys, welcome to another review. Today we will be talking about Gravity. The main character of this movie is Dr. Ryan Stone, interpreted by Sandra Bullock. This movie starts with absolutely no sound, making us understand that we are in the nothingness of space. Dr. Stone, no, not that one, yeah, that one, thank you, is with other two astronauts, one being Matt Kowalski. Don't do this to me. Thank you. That Matt Kowalski and another astronaut called Sheriff. These three astronauts are fixing the ship when they get a warning that a Russian satellite was destroyed and that debris was floating their way at bullet speed. Unfortunately, the space station gets impacted and Dr. Ryan Stone gets thrown away and she remains floating in the void. This movie is amazing. I can see why it won an Oscar when they were good prizes. Because everything I just told you happened in the first 13 minutes of the movie with absolutely no cuts. A long take to make us feel the gravity and the despair of the characters at this point. Matt Kowalski manages to rescue Dr. Ryan Stone by impulsing himself towards her, and he carries a rope to get her attached to him. When they are in the process of going back to the station, Ryan tells Matt that she had a daughter, but that she died playing tag with other kids. Maybe this is the reason why she went to space. They manage to get back to the space station, but they find Sheriff dead because some debris pierced his face, a very nasty death. Dr. Ryan tells Matt that she's running out of oxygen, which makes them go to the ISS, a Russian space station. But as the debris is orbiting Earth, it hits the rope and it gets it broken. Dr. Ryan tries everything to keep Matt with her, but Matt decides that he has to sacrifice himself to keep Dr. Ryan safe. Maybe you notice at this point, but let me tell you, this movie is basically everything that can go wrong in a space station goes wrong. Anyway, Dr. Ryan manages to get inside the ISS, and as she is taking her astronaut suit, there's a scene that I absolutely adored, because it's like she is getting in like a fetus-like position, and this gets explained a bit later in the movie. Okay, and then chaos. A fire starts inside the ISS, which makes her go to the front half of the ISS, the ship, and detach it. But when she tries to use the parachute, it gets stuck in the other half and more debris comes her way, and she tries to escape, but she's out of gasoline. After a lot of suffering, which isn't over yet, she tries to intersect an Earth station signal because she is basically just stranding at space. Terrifying, right? She fails to intersect an Earth station signal, but she intersects another random one, which appears to be from a household. This is a very emotive scene because we can see Dr. Ryan interacting with a human being even if she doesn't speak the same language. At this point, Dr. Ryan turns off the oxygen and she is accepting her death. As she is slowly falling asleep, we can see that Matt is knocking on the door of the ship and gets inside with her. And you may think, 1, why didn't she die when he opened the door? And 2, how did he survive with no oxygen for that long? Well, this may surprise you, because Dr. Ryan Stone is hallucinating with him, but this is a very poetic scene, because he tells Ryan Stone, do you want to go back or do you want to stay here? No one can hurt you here, you're safe. But what's the point of living? Your kid died, it can't get any tougher than that. Sit back and enjoy the ride. It's time to go home. And then Matt is no longer there. Dr. Ryan turns the oxygen back on and she decides she wants to go back home. This, in my opinion, is a very sensitive scene because more than one can relate to that. Maybe people who went through a very traumatic event and they are trying to get their lives back. With this newborn determination, she manages to get to the Chinese station using a fire extinguisher. Once she is inside, as she doesn't know Chinese, she uses every button that she thinks will work and she succeeds in making her way to Earth. Once she is inside Earth, she uses a parachute and makes a water landing safely. She almost drowns, but she manages to get out. In this last scene, we can see Dr. Ryan getting up and walking, just like a baby does when it's taking its first steps. Remember the fetus-like position? Maybe this means that with this trip, she was born again. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you next week for another review.